Psych perspectives, giofvcks, you back. Now I can get back to getting back to the video. Part 2. The reason I'm bringing this stuff up is because, hold on, I gotta get my water. The reason why I'm bringing this stuff up is because it needs to be talked about. You know, we are what we eat. I'm not telling you gotta stop eating all the good things that you like. I'm not saying you gotta stop drinking all the good things that you like. But everything in moderation. Try to have a healthy balance, you know? And then those of us that have Graves' disease, IBS, Crohn's, gastrointestinal health issues, people that are diabetic, etc. People, you know, there's ways of fixing the issue, because it as crazy as this may sound, I'm a living witness, truth. You are what you eat, bruh, because every time I eat something that I know messes up my Crohn's, messes up my IBS, messes up my stomach, messes up my Graves, I know I'm gonna be sick. So you know you're gonna be paying the consequences. So after a while, it just gets really old, basically is where I'm getting at. It gets really old to be constantly sick and talking about how you feel like shit when you know the outcome now. You know the outcome. You can't, you know, and that just goes to show you that this is an addiction. It's an addiction, and it needs to be treated as such, in my opinion. And it needs, you know, we need to look at the psychological ways people interact with food and the behaviors that people participate in. Because it's like, I knew you can't have ice cream, you can't have dairy. You know this. Every time you take your butt over there, and it's not like regular diarrhea or gas. Like, I have Crohn's and IBS and Graves, so it's like, try all that. When you get nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea, try that 5 times that. It's very bad. It's horrifying. Like, I can lose 5 pounds in a day because I'm just throwing up, and because I can't stop, because it's horrible. It's like, it's just, I can't eat it. So the fact that I spent 2 hours and I'm still kind of going through it, I'm just like, okay, all because you wanted to have a frozen custard? Was it really worth all of that? Was it really worth all the pain and suffering? And that's what I have to tell myself that. And that's why I'm like, you know that's an addiction, because you know good and well you can't have it. I can't even eat regular candy. That's why I don't eat candy. If you be like, you don't like candy, it's not that I don't like it, it's just that I get sick. Horribly sick. And it's just not worth it. Like, it's just not. Just like I used to really love to drink. I used to drink a lot. I used to basically be a functioning alcoholic. But it's to the point where I'm horribly sick. And it's not like a hangover. It's, I'm like vomiting. And I'm like, I used to be drinking pints and half pints and fifths to myself. And this was like almost a daily occurrence, you know. And yeah, I had my moments where I would black out and be drunk as hell and have you know, some throwing up. But for the most part, I didn't really get hangovers. So that's another reason why I never realized like how much I was drinking, because like I didn't have the same like everyone else. But then once I found out, you know, I had to have my gallbladder removed in 2018, and I was 25, almost 26 when that happened. That right there should have been like the beginning of, hey, you have really bad health issues, you need to chill out. But no, I continued to have these issues, and like, so, and then literally almost dying twice in 2019, and then that's when they found out that I had Graves, and they were like, oh, this is why, look at this. It's autoimmune disease. You've been living with this for quite some time, you didn't know. And it was just so many things that have happened. So from there, I just stopped eating the vast majority of shit because I realized, like, you're killing yourself. Like, I'm literally killing myself with food and shit. But I want it to be bigger because I did a lot of weight training, powerlifting, deadlifting, bodybuilding. That was my thing. But in order to bodybuild, this is why I be trying to tell people, I'm starting to realize for myself that the health that we talk about in America, at least in the USA, is very much about vanity. It's really not about health, right? Because even when I was doing bodybuilding, it's unhealthy because the whole point is, especially for those of us that are naturally like have small frames or short, like I'm 5'6", so bodybuilding for me was more so about just being big and tough and look at my muscles and look how much I can lift. That was what I was all about. But I'm only 5'6", and naturally this is like, I'm basically back to how I looked when I was, middle school, high school. Like, if you see pictures of me as a kid, I just was always super skinny. So for me to gain weight, I had to binge eat. Like, literally, I had to eat an excessive amount of calories. And that right there, too, should have been like the early signs that I potentially had issues with my thyroid in the first place. The fact that it was always so much work for me to gain weight, but it's nothing for me to lose weight. Like, it's nothing for me to drop weight. That right there should have been like the very beginning signs, looking back, that I had an issue with my thyroid. It's overactive, Graves' disease. All right, because it's like my metabolism is just like, I have to overindulge to gain weight, and I have to continue to overindulge to maintain the weight. So the minute I stop eating the way, that I was eating, I'm still wearing clothes from when I used to be 220. Okay? So, and I'm like 140 right now. Because this is my natural, if you will, this is how I naturally would look if I'm not binge eating and lifting weights 24/7. But I was binge eating. And a lot of people in the bodybuilding world don't even want to talk about that. But like, let's just be honest, that's unhealthy. It's okay to want to lift weights and, do deadlifts and, strong man, strong woman challenges and shit. And, we out here with the big ass tires and flipping them bad boys and doing the burpees right by the side. I mean, those were the days. That's fun and all, but you want to make sure that you're doing this with health as like priority, not because you're trying to be aesthetically pleasing or all this other shit. Because a lot of us, let's just be real, you're gonna end up destroying your body. I'm living proof. You're gonna end up destroying your body, and again, you're gonna have all these health issues directly related to that lifestyle, right? Because like, I remember, this is back in the day, I was, very naive and stupid, ignorant. I used to follow Hodge twins, and they used to do these bodybuilding meals. So I would figure out like what type of bodybuilding meals, and then that's when I learned about being an ectomorph, right? Where you're just naturally, you have this small frame and you're just skinny. That's your role. And then you have the mesomorph, who's in the middle, which to me is like the best fucking body type, because it's like you can gain muscle quick, you can gain weight quick somewhat, and you can lose muscle and lose weight quick somewhat. You're like happy medium. And then you have the endomorph, who they gain weight very easily. They gain fat very easily too, but it takes them a lot to lose weight and to lose fat. And again, when you really sit down and think about it, looking at it from a thyroid perspective, your ectomorph is essentially hyperthyroidism, and then your endomorph is essentially hypothyroidism, where it's just basically not functioning at all, or it's functioning at a very low level, because your metabolism, when it's a mesomorph in the middle where it should be, in my opinion, the healthier way, you know, you can gain and lose and gain and lose, but you're not sitting up here, you know, on the very extreme sides. So I found out about them, you know, and I would be like, okay, I gotta get my bodybuilding meals in. And I used to have my granny, yes, my granny would make me like a bunch of chicken breasts, a bunch of beans, oh my god, rice, sweet potatoes, like, and I would just eat like 8-ounce chicken breasts 4 times a day, because 2-3 whey protein shakes a day, like. And then when I found out about if it fits your macros, which was also a horrible thing looking back, because again, those of us that are ectomorphs can take it to the extremes. I mean, everybody can, but like I was like, oh well shit, it fits in my macros, I'm going to McDonald's. Which literally I could eat, like back in the day, I would go to McDonald's and get like 2 double cheeseburgers, no pickles, 2 McChickens with cheese, 2 large fries, a McFlurry large with Reese's, and a large Sprite. Like 2-3 times a week, because I would miss, like, because I always had an issue getting an appetite, which was also another sign of me having Graves, but that's a whole nother well, I guess it is intertwined video. But so I would miss out on meals and be like, shit, I got like 5,000 calories I gotta hit. I got like 200 grams of freaking protein. I had so many things going on, bro. Like I would fail to hit my macros all the time. So I would go and I would do the cheap, unhealthy binge eating method. So I would go to McDonald's. I remember leaving the gym. I would leave the gym, bro. Like, we'd be at the gym for 2-3 hours, killing it. It's back day, especially back and legs. Like, I had to restore. So I would go to freaking Applebee's or Starlight in Flint at Coney Island, and I would order a smorgasbord of food. And I mean, I would eat it, force myself to eat it, get it down, be sick as fuck, but then I gained my weight. Think about it. I'm naturally this, right? Like, nothing. And I got to 220. So it worked, but at the end of the day, it was unhealthy. Gallbladder removed, all kinds of shit has happened to me because of that lifestyle. Like, and then I was also a cheater, because I would be like, oh, I'm carboning up. And my idea of carboning up was beer. I would just drink beer. Like I said, if it fits your macros, I took it to a whole nother level of stupidity and ignorance. That's what I be trying to tell y'all. Again, is it about health or is it about aesthetics? Ask yourself that. Seriously, ask yourself that. Is it about health or is it about aesthetics? Because a lot of times when you look at, you know, what we are viewing as attractive or what we view as being healthy, it's not really healthy. You know, even when you see, because I used to be one of those, I was going to GNC, had a GNC card and everything, and then I was always getting MTS Whey, GAF Whey, with because I was also a big time follower of well, it's called Physiques of Greatness, but it used to be called something else with Chris Jones, because back in the day, 2011, 2012, if y'all been following Chris Jones for that long. Anyways, I've always been into this. That, and I was always into MMA, so I did kickboxing and all this other stuff on the side. But it's like I had to be careful with my cardio because I lose weight very quickly, and it's like I would defeat the purpose. I'd be sitting up, I would go to cardio, not realizing, because I love CrossFit, and I love MMA. Like, if you know me, you know. It's been years of that, man. So kickboxing is high intensity. CrossFit is high intensity as well, but it's high intensity, so you burn a lot of calories. And I wasn't really, again, as I was learning about my health and like my body type and everything, I didn't really realize that until I got, more and more into it. And then even now, it's just crazy. And that's why I'm very conscientious on health, more so than I've ever been in my life, because I just sit back and realize, like, health is wealth, man. If you don't have your health, you don't have nothing else. And people need to realize that. Like, it's not a game out here. You need your health, y'all. You need your health. So, and I'm gonna start doing more videos like this, especially in the Black community, people of color communities, lower income, working class. We need to talk about this more, because we're dying prematurely of stuff that we shouldn't be dying from, and we need to advocate for ourselves and support each other on these health conscious and health. And also do realize being skinny does not mean you're healthy. Having a six-pack doesn't mean you're healthy. Just because you're fat or bigger, or obese, doesn't necessarily mean you're unhealthy. And this is why I'm really big on, is it health or is it just aesthetics? Because a lot of this is aesthetics. A lot of this is aesthetics, man. It's crazy. But it's crazy. But I'm gonna do more videos discussing that, and y'all, please make sure you get your water in, because, like, that's another thing with me not having a gallbladder. I really am big on, making sure I get my water in. And then too, I spent years drinking like a fish, and I'm talking about after, because that's another thing. How the hell you gonna be I was doing all this shit drunk. Like, I'm gonna do some videos on this. Like, I basically went through my entire grad program as a functioning alcoholic. I didn't realize that. I didn't realize it then, but looking back, it's like, damn, Gio was always at the bar, drinking, but I was a functioning alcoholic. And instead of playing with regular toys that are out here, he done took one of our pots for our plants, flowers. Anyways, we'll be back. We'll let Mercy continue to do him.